Do you have problems freezing when you're trying to walk? From time to time, is it difficult to go through a doorway or move amongst people? That's pretty common with what we have. But there's a way you can get around it most of the time, I have found. It's this little guy, a Bluetooth piece that you sync with your phone. And then the other thing you need to do is download a metronome app. Get any one you want. They're free. And program into it rhythms that feel good to you before you go in public with it. The thing you want to do is experiment. Maybe a rhythm like this. Works for you, but maybe doesn't work for me. So you've got to find the rhythm that's right for you and that works for you, that your brain reacts nicely to. Because when you get in public is not the time to test it. Test it at home. Walking through doorways, walking up and down the block, going to say hi to the neighbor. And the cool thing about this is nobody knows you're doing it. They just think you have that in to answer phone calls. But in essence, what you're doing is secretly listening to music to motivate your walking. And it helps to a great deal with me because sometimes I'll be walking and I'll get to a doorway where there's a lot of people and I'll be like, What you do is just turn it on and hey Sarah, I'm recording something. And where was I? Well, regardless, you'll want to find music that works for you so that when you're in public, all you do is turn it on and 9 times out of 10, you'll do things you were not able to do before you listen to the beat. Now, it's not just a metronome that I use. Sometimes I use music. That's a little riskier. You really have to test that stuff at home because you can have a real fun beat that you think is going to work, and you get in public and you're stumbling around and you can't find your brain won't lock up with the beat because you didn't test it. Test it. Find the ones that feel right to you, that your brain reacts nicely to, and that you can turn loose and use. And you'll be happy you did. I use polka music too. I've been doing that lately, and that helps because I think it summons up good feelings. That when I was a kid, we used to have polka music and my mom and dad would dance, and I enjoyed it. But I think more than that, the beat. I can't sing, but who cares? It's polka music. That beat works well for me. And I also use marching band music. What else? I tried some rock and roll, but it hasn't worked for me so far. It's just a jumbled mess. My brain doesn't react well to it, doesn't walk well to it, so I am avoiding that right now. But that said, one thing I'm reading is that I should introduce my brain to complex rhythms, not in public, but at home, and get it used to complex rhythms so this easy stuff is even easier for it. And so that it can do complex things. Because you may have to, without the help of a metronome someday, you may have to walk through a crowd of people and a doorway. And if your brain doesn't have something to remember that was helpful to it, complex-wise, you may not be able to get through that complex gathering of people in doorways. And so train it with some complex stuff too. But I would caution you not to use that in public. At least I'm not planning to. So there you go. There's kind of a nickel tour of what's happening in my life. A little earbud costs about $20 on Amazon. A phone costs like $10,000. Just kidding. But they're not cheap. But they work great. Use the technology. Hope it helps you.